If you are thinking about moving to Rancho Santa Fe right here in San Diego, you're gonna wanna stay tuned. We're diving into everything you need to know about living right here in Rancho Santa Fe, from amenities to housing, to neighborhoods, to the vibe, to the weather, and everything in between. So let's get into it right now. So first off, where is Rancho Santa Fe? It's right in an area called North County, San Diego, just north of Carmel Valley here. Here's the 56 freeway, just due east of the 5 freeway and Solana Beach and Encinitas, and then to the west of the 15 freeway. So right smack dab in the middle here. You have no main freeways going through. It's a lot of side roads in here, which we'll cover. But as far as going to, let's say, downtown San Diego, just to give you a quick little, idea, if you've flown to San Diego, if you've been here to San Diego, maybe you've explored La Jolla, maybe you've explored some other coastal cities. But if we are going to the San Diego International Airport, it's gonna take you about 30 plus minutes. So depending on where you are in here, obviously it's just giving us from right smack dab in the middle. It's gonna take about 35 minutes or so. Now let's say you are departing at, let's just go with a little bit earlier, probably like a 8 a.m. on a Thursday. It's gonna be about 30 to 45 minutes. So you're gonna shoot down to the 5. Like I said, there's no freeways going directly through there. So any way to get out is going to be side roads. So most likely you're gonna shoot west, go down the 5 freeway, which is the main north-south freeway right here in San Diego, and go on down through La Jolla and end up in downtown San Diego down there. Now I mentioned there's no main, highways, nothing like that going through. There is actually one Del Dios highway as you go out to the east here, kind of comes down into Paseo Delicias, and that leads you right into downtown or, the village area of Rancho Santa Fe. People are like, where are the best beaches? It's usually gonna be the closest beaches to you. So here in Rancho Santa Fe, let's just go here. Let's get to some directions. Let's just go down to Solana Beach. So let's go to Fletcher Cove. It's one of the main beaches right here in this area of San Diego. And you're looking about 15 minutes or so. So a lot of areas within Rancho are gonna be 15 to 20 minutes. Once you go out a little further, yeah, obviously it's gonna take a little bit longer, but there's plenty of beach options within that 15 to 20 minutes. You could head up to Cardiff up here. You can go down to the Del Mar beaches. Plus you have access to all those little downtown areas. So while Rancho Santa Fe doesn't have a ton of amenities, I'll show you the main amenities in that little downtown area, but all of these coastal areas, as you go towards like the Coast Highway 101, there you're gonna find a bunch of these little kind of downtown areas. So Solana Beach actually has a little bonus because it has kind of two. You have Coast Highway, and then you have Cedros Design District right here. So you're gonna find some restaurants, coffee shops, some design stores, all that kind of stuff in here. So it is a good little option to have as far as going out, go have a nice dinner at Rare Society over there. But you also have a bunch of options on Coast Highway as well. And then if you just head due south, so one big amenity right here is Del Mar Racetrack. You'll see that right there. But then you also have downtown Del Mar. So this whole area as well. It's where you're gonna find a bunch more options. Just to the north end here, you're gonna find the Del Mar Plaza. You're gonna find the Monarch. You are gonna find some Italian spots, a little coffee spot, plus a few other nice restaurants and stuff in there as well. So plus whatever else you need in Del Mar. So if you guys have explored here, yeah, probably have been to Del Mar. It's gonna be a quick shot from a lot of areas of Rancho Santa Fe. Now Rancho Santa Fe isn't that big. It's a decent sized footprint, but one of the huge benefits of living out here is space. So even though it is roughly the size of like Encinitas over here, it's just under 7 square miles. There is only a population of about 3,200 or so, give or take, directly within Rancho Santa Fe. So just right around, just over that 3,000 mark, where once you get into Encinitas, population is about 60,000 plus or minus. So as you get out here, it's a lot less dense. And that is one of the huge draws for this area. You get space, you get privacy, you get a lot of acreage on your own property. So that's why people are digging it out here. It's just kind of quiet, which is very nice. And there's a few other areas. So this is circling Rancho Santa Fe, but out here you have the Crosby. Just to the north, you have Cielo right up here. That's considered Rancho Santa Fe. You have Fairbanks Ranch down here to the south. So not everything is being circled. And then you have one other area right down here. So this is a few different sections of Rancho Santa Fe. It's actually, there's a few different zip codes. So you go 92067 is the main zip code right in Rancho Santa Fe. That's going to include like some of the main area, the Covenant, etc. And then 92091 is going to be another area of Rancho Santa Fe where you see it gets a little bit down here, gets a little bit up here. So there's a few different areas of Rancho Santa Fe. Now, the biggest area of Rancho Santa Fe, and one of the areas that a lot of people are looking to get into, is an area called the Covenant, which is actually, it's an HOA within Rancho Santa Fe. It's not your typical HOA. It's a little bit different, but it's all within this central portion surrounding the Rancho Santa Fe Golf Club, which right here in the middle is somewhere you do have to live within the Covenant to be a part of the golf club here. So all of these homes surrounding here, you'll see kind of going out pretty far. This isn't the exact line. As you get into the Covenant area here, you'll see this outer loop where you have that 2.86 net acre minimum. Then you have in the central a little bit, here's the golf course running through right here, 2 acre minimums. And then here's kind of that central area, the village of Rancho Santa Fe, the downtown area. As you can see right here, there's just a lot of space. So that's one of the biggest benefits of living out here. You don't have, super close neighbors. There are those lot minimums as you're getting out here, and you're gonna find a different variety of homes out here. Just looking on this overhead here, you have some of these smaller kind of original homes. You have some of these bigger homes right here with the pools, with all the outdoor space. You got the little putting green. You have all that going on, big old driveway. So there's a bunch of different options out here for housing. But if you do want to live specifically in the Covenant, you got to hit us up. We could dive in to what exact areas are within the Covenant, because even as you get out to some of the outskirts, there's a few little areas that look like they might be in the Covenant, but they're not. So it's important, if you want to be in here, you want to be part of the Rancho Santa Fe Golf Club, it's important to know that you're getting homes within the Covenant. Now, this is the central area of Rancho Santa Fe. So one of the biggest things about living out here, you get the space and all that, but there's not a ton of amenities. As far as you get the amenities on your home, if you're part of the golf club, you get access to, tennis courts, pickleball courts, golf, all that kind of stuff, clubhouse, etc. But as far as like shopping, stores, going out to dinners, there's very limited options. So most of them are going to be found right in this downtown area. And it's a cool little historic downtown right here. It's only a few blocks long, but you got Nick and G's over here on the other side. Right up here, there's a little coffee shop. As you go down around the corner, you're gonna find another few restaurants over here, Time in the Ranch, Mille Fleur. So there are a handful. And the inn right at the end here has recently been redone. This is like the only hotel, or one of the only hotel style places you'll find in Rancho Santa Fe. There's not a ton of this, so like there's not a ton of tourists out here. As with some of the coastal areas, the Encinitas, the Solana Beach, Del Mar's, you're gonna get a lot of that tourism, a lot of that busyness, because they're a little bit more structured for that. Out here, it's pretty quiet, besides the inn, which is not that big. It's just the property is decent size, but in here, there's a restaurant, there's a new bar, cool little spot, but you're not gonna find a ton of people, let's go out to Rancho Santa Fe, because there's just not a ton going on out here, which is part of the allure as well. Now, from the town center, if you do have to, you're living in the Covenant, you wanna go shopping, you wanna do all that stuff, you're a quick shot, you go down to Solana Beach, you can go down Loma Santa Fe, there's a few shopping centers over this way where you find, your Home Goods, your Vons, all that kind of stuff, Marshalls, whatever else, Sprouts, Farmers Market, anything you need up that way. You can go up into Encinitas, there's Home Depots, all that kind of stuff. You could shoot down to this way as well. And if you go just due south, there's another big area where you're gonna find the One Paseo, and you're gonna find Del Mar Highlands Town Center. So there's a luxury movie theater, a bunch of good spots to eat, and that's all, like you can see, not too far from Rancho Santa Fe. Now within Rancho Santa Fe, or right around Rancho Santa Fe, besides the Covenant, which is like this central area here, you'll see the bridges popping up. So this one is a private community. It's gated, HOA, but it's all surrounding the Bridges golf course. So that is another community that people are digging here. Right here where we were, the inn, just down to the south, you're gonna find an area called Fairbanks Ranch, and it's separated by San Dieguito Road right here. So it's north and south. There's only a few ways in, and there are gates guarded 24/7 right here. So you do have the luxury of that. Nice gated community right in here. Big old luxury estates in here. So really cool area. And if you do want that gated community, this is a good area right here. So it's another option if you are living in here. No golf course. You do have the Fairbanks Ranch Golf Club, but it's kind of its own jam as you go down right over here. And this is a Bay Club. There's another one right here in San Diego as well, but this is one of their San Diego campuses. So anyways, you can get on here. This is a ton of other amenities. So even though Fairbanks doesn't have the golf right there, this is just literally right down the road. So golf features, there's golf, there's the Valley 9, the Lakes 9, the Oceans 9, plenty of amenities, dining, family events, kids camps, locker rooms, pickleball, swim, all that kind of stuff. And it's based on a membership. So you could hop in here, check it out. They have different programs and stuff. But if you did want that amenity, that's just to the west of Fairbanks Ranch. And a few other spots that people are liking. Just to the north up here, you have the Crosby, which is another big gated community right here, just off Del Dios Highway, where there's a bunch of different options for housing in here. You have some of the smaller options, you have some bigger options. There's the golf course in the middle here. So that is where a lot of people do like it. It's a little bit further out, so you do have a little bit more travel to go to the beach. You have a little bit farther to go just to downtown or to the village, etc. A little bit farther to the airport, all that. Another area just to the north of that, you can see it a little bit as we are going up this hill here. It's called Cielo. So all of these homes on the hill here, this is all Cielo. So some of the best views in all of San Diego is this area right here of Rancho Santa Fe, where you're looking east, west, depending on where you are, but it's up on this huge hill. Once again, gated community here. Yeah, we've shown homes in here. We've, been in here a ton of times. And if you're at the bottom, it's quick little shot. So there's a little community down here. Once you start going up the hill, it takes, 5 or 10 minutes to get up there. So it's a little bit longer. They do have a little community center in here as well. Some pickleball courts, some tennis courts, etc. And actually, this is one of the places too that there are still a few lots left, but you will see beautiful views up here. A lot of these are easy, set it and forget it. If you're looking for a second home and you just want some gorgeous views, this is a good spot to check out. And so within Rancho, there are a bunch of different housing options. So whether you want like Spanish revival, you want some Mediterranean style, you want classic, you want some super custom luxury, you want an equestrian property, all of those are available out here in Rancho Santa Fe. So there's gonna be a lot that can fit your style. And if you guys are looking for a specific home, specific price points, all that kind of stuff, and you really want to dive in and start that conversation, we would love to earn your business. So feel free to hit us up. All of our contact info is popping up right now. We can hop on a quick little Zoom call, dive in, get you dialed in, show you a few of these areas and see what might be working for you. So like I said, you're not right on the coast. How is the weather when you are living in Rancho Santa Fe? It could vary, but it's going to be pretty moderate, as with a lot of other parts of San Diego. In the winters, you're going to get a little cool. In the summers, you're going to get a little warm. But on average, you look down here, temperatures are peaking out in 80 degrees tops in July, August, September, a little bit of October. You're getting down to the mid 60s in the wintertime. Now the temperature does drop, as with other areas of San Diego, getting into the winter. So it might be nice 65, 66 degrees in the daytime, gets down to 49, gets a little chilly at night. So just be aware of that. It's not always 75 and sunny. It does get a little cooler as you make your way to those winter months. All right, now we're looking at the average hourly temperature. So breaking this down, you can see January through December, and then the time from 12 a.m. so the morning all the way to midnight over here. You can see some of those winter nights are gonna get a little bit cold, but a lot of the time when you're from that 8 a.m. to about 6 p.m., you're in this comfortable range. Now, winter or summer months, yeah, it's gonna get a little warmer. Right now, I'm recording this at the middle of September, and it's been a little bit warmer. It's been a little bit hotter. We've kind of had, not necessarily, yeah, we've had a little bit of a heat wave, I guess. So it definitely has been in that warm section right here. But a lot of the times you're cool, comfortable, you're gonna get a little warm. So 75 to 80, Comfortable is going to be 65 to 70. And then when you get cool, it's going to be like 55 to 65. But one of the benefits about being a little bit farther inland is going to be, you're not going to get as much of that marine layer. So if you're living in La Jolla, you're living in Del Mar, a lot of these times, if you're looking at this chart, it's going to be cloudier a lot more than it is going to be clear. Not all the time, but as a whole, as you go a little bit further inland, once you get into like that Rancho Santa Fe area, you can see it's going to be clear for a lot more of that time. Partly cloudy, mostly clear, or somewhat clear, almost about 80%, especially getting into some of these, summer months. May gray, June gloom. These are typically when you are going to get some of that overcast here, a little bit cloudier, but you can see a lot of the time it is going to be partly cloudy, mostly clear, or clear. And then super important, humidity. If you're coming from East Coast, if you're coming from different areas where it does get, like it says here, muggy, it doesn't get too muggy too often here. Now, that being said, like I said, from the middle of August to about right now, it has been somewhat muggy. It has been a little bit warmer, has been a little bit more moisture in there. We did have a little bit of moisture coming from, there's a hurricane down south in Mexico, or just off the coast, came up and kind of pushed some of that, wet, humid air into the atmosphere here, made it a little warmer, made it a little bit more muggy. So we have been in that little muggy section, but you can see right here, it's not that much. You get a little bit of mugginess. For the most part, we're gonna be dry, we're gonna be comfortable, maybe a little bit humid, but definitely not too muggy as compared to some other areas within the United States. All right, like I mentioned, there aren't a ton of amenities out here. Like I said, we have the village area here, but as you zoom in here, especially in the Covenant area, you'll see all these little trails popping up. There's a huge trail system. It's built for equestrian, so they're nice wide trails. You're gonna see horses back there for sure. If you're living back there, you're gonna see horses cruising through these trails. All in all, Rancho Santa Fe is not too walkable. If you're just thinking about the streets, let's just hop into right in here, Lineo del Cielo, and you can see kind of windy roads. They're narrow. You're not gonna find too much there, but once you do hit some of the trails, they do connect down to the clubhouse. There, we just passed it right there. You go down the trails. It's gonna connect you over here. It's gonna lead you down towards the clubhouse and to the golf course. So there are a few amenities just within the Covenant. The Covenant Rancho Santa Fe has a unique and extensive network of private trails. Nearly 60 miles of equestrian and pedestrian trails are used exclusively by Covenant residents and their guests. One of the most popular trail segments runs around the Rancho Santa Fe golf course, offering runners, walkers, and horseback riders alike unparalleled views of the beautiful golf course and adjacent estate homes. Hikers and riders may order and pick up lunch from the golf club snack bar. So you do have those trails. They do get used a lot. They're pretty awesome amenity to have. There's also a few private parks here. There's also a private campground. So you do have a few other amenities if you are living within the Covenant. But golf is huge out here. Golf courses, there's a few of the private golf courses. You have the Rancho Santa Fe Golf Club. That was the one in the Covenant. You're gonna find the Bridges. You're gonna find the Crosby. There's a few more to the east. There's just a lot more in this little section here. Obviously the beaches. If you do want downtown area, like I said, go down to Solana Beach, go down to Cardiff, go down to Del Mar, you can shoot down to La Jolla, which isn't too far as well. Now, once you get into schools out here, you do have the Rancho Santa Fe School District, depending on where you're at. And then once you go to high school, you have the San Diego Union High School. So you can see it just circles Rancho Santa Fe, but it feeds to a lot of other areas, Encinitas, Solana Beach, Del Mar, and there's a few different school options depending on where you are. Plus, obviously, private schools, you're gonna find a lot of those around here as well. If you're living out here, you're definitely gonna have multiple options for schools. So as far as housing goes in Rancho Santa Fe, there's a wide variety. They're all gonna be multi-million-dollar homes starting that kind of $4 million price point. You'll find some that are gonna be a little bit less. This is kind of like a in the center of town kind of thing. You do have a $7 million property. Like this is like a $5 million property, 3-bed, 3-bath, about 2,500 square foot. So smaller home, but gorgeous views as you can see in the little picture there. Plus it's on about 4.5 acres of property. And then you'll find some even in that $30 million range, 5-bed, 8-bath, 10,000 square foot, huge lot, etc. So a bunch of different options out here, but the main theme is usually bigger, space, all that kind of stuff, privacy as you get out into Rancho Santa Fe. Now, one big thing about Rancho Santa Fe, like I said, it's quiet back here, a bunch of side roads. You don't have any main roads. I mean, Del Dios, Paseo Delicias, Lineo del Cielo, all the bigger ones in here are like bigger roads, but there's no like main roads. They're all just little 2-lane roads going through there. So quiet, it's spread out. As far as future growth, there's not a ton. I mean, you're not going to see a ton. So like as in some areas, especially like coastal areas. When you get into like Carlsbad, you're seeing some more development up there. Encinitas, here and there, you're gonna see like, yeah, some more multifamily properties being going up. And as you get into certain other areas, yeah, you're gonna see more building, more of that kind of stuff. Rancho Santa Fe is it's very protected as far as what they're building out there. So you're not gonna find a ton of new infrastructure. You're not gonna find any big projects going on out there. Compare it to a few other cities around, or a few other areas around. So if people are looking in Rancho Santa Fe, there's a few other options. I always like to call it Livin, which is a part of Encinitas. You're gonna find similar style properties, bigger lots. It's a little bit more affordable than Rancho Santa Fe, so it's a smaller footprint area. But it is another option. Some other people, like I mentioned, Fairbanks Ranch down to the south, certain areas of Del Mar right here. Del Mar, the city of Del Mar is pretty small right here on the coast, but it does spread out to other little areas. You're gonna find some unincorporated areas of San Diego. And we made a vlog style video of 3 different neighborhoods that are not Rancho Santa Fe. So you can go check that out if you want that Rancho Santa Fe, but a few different options. La Jolla is gonna have some options down here as far as price point. Once again, different vibe down there, coastal city, etc. A little more touristy as you get into that area. So there's gonna be some other options as well as people are looking, but Rancho Santa Fe is somewhat unique, and it's kind of its own little jam right here in San Diego. And if you guys are thinking about Rancho Santa Fe and you want some more information, 2 ways. First off, you can just go check out that next video popping up, or feel free to reach out directly to me and my partner Cassidy. We got a crew right here in San Diego, and we got your back when making the move here in San Diego.